From the financial planner's office of the DJC Collectibles Studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy who believes action figures are a retirement plan, Kyle Peterson.
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back again with episode number 44 of the Kyle Peterson Show. And as usual, got my co-host here, the lady that knows the party starts when the first guest arrives, Angie. Angie, say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Angie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, it's great to see you. Great to have you back here today. And Angie, it is extremely cold outside today. Tomorrow, as we're filming this, supposed to be negative 35 wind chill is what it's supposed to be.
Diabolical.
So it's definitely cold. So I can see you're dressed accordingly for this cold weather. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, look at that. She's got those boots on. She's just freezing. Just freezing. But here we are, Angie, with episode...
With the cold shoulder.
With the cold shoulder. So here it is. But Angie, here we are, episode number 44. Almost close to 50. We're going to make it. We got a lot to cover, a lot of ground to cover today in this very video here, Angie. But unfortunately, sickness around this household, including you, a little of the old school, old-fashioned bottle flu is what we call it. Is that what it is? The brown bottle flu? Is that what's going on?
No.
No, Angie is sick, though. What do you got? What are your symptoms?
Just an old-fashioned cold.
Just an old-fashioned cold. Well, that's exciting and riveting at the same time. Our daughter is sick, too, one of them. I'm hanging in there like a champ, though. I'm the one, you know. You just make sure you don't breathe on me. Don't get anything. I don't want anything to do with...
I'm shocked you haven't picked it up. Especially with all that antibiotic you took.
I don't want anything to do with either of your lips. I don't want to do anything with any of them. I don't want to have a piece of that. I don't want to get sick. Nothing.
Neither of my lips or...
None of your lips.
Are you referring to mine and your canal?
No. No, your lips.
Like lip sugar.
No, your multiple lips. That's what I'm...
Don't let daddy kiss.
Oh, here we go. Singing Motorhead lyrics. That's a deep cut. Nobody gets. But Angie is sick, so hopefully I do not get sick. Yeah, with my cancer and all. I can't be afforded to get sick. You got to be careful around me. Kid gloves around this guy. We don't want that. Nobody wants that.
Straight to the ER.
But here we are. We're filming, and Angie's going to tough her way out. So don't be too talkative. We'll understand.
I might need a cough attack signal.
We need
the tickles here.
She needs a cough attack signal, and I got just the right signal for you, Angie.
Oh my god.
She's gonna cough, and she's just gonna say,
"No, put it over here. If I need a cough, I'm gonna."
You're gonna give it a try. Give it a little shot. That's it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm glad I got this desk here.
This is going downhill.
I'm ready to go. Let's go downhill quick. So Angie might not be as talkative and might not be as chatty Cathy today. She might have to have a cough attack. So we'll see. But I'm hanging in there. No sickness around here. No rest for the wicked. If you never stop, you don't rust. You don't get sick. That's the way it goes. Pro tip.
Rusty as heck.
Pro tip out there is what it is. But Angie, before we get too far into this one, got to thank DJC Collectibles. 8 off DJC is the code to save 8%. Thank you for being the title sponsor of the DJC, or for the Kyle Peterson podcast, the DJC podcast.
We're changing it.
We're changing it here, episode 44, and very close to episode 50. As I did mention, Angie's going to do something extra special. She's got 6 episodes to figure it out what that extra special is.
I'm bringing in the cowboy boots.
But we'll see what... Oh, boy, that's real special. There'll be spurs on there, too, if I'm not mistaken. Also,
chaps.
There you go. Now you're getting somewhere.
Nothing on it.
We'll get your chaps and your cowboy hat and your cowboy boots.
Oh, no.
You'll be ready to go. Uh-oh. There it is. There it is. The sound of happiness, the sound of fun right there. But Angie, we got to thank Patreon members this month. Of course, January, anybody that signs up for the Patreon, be it free or paid member, does get access to the giveaway of the Briscoe Brothers Jazzwares Vault exclusive figures. So anybody can get those. Sign up to the Patreon. It can be free. So head over there, Angie. I'm recommending you do it as well. Also, traditional. I'm going to move this over here. Traditional Patreon giveaway is, of course, Peacemaker John Cena McFarlane from our friend on the couch in the basement, old Todd McFarlane. We have a Peacemaker giveaway. That is the traditional giveaway. Also, just recently did an X giveaway. I'll have an Instagram giveaway here, maybe the end of January, early February. Then we'll probably do a couple more podcasts. I got a lot of stuff to give away. Get this stuff out of my house so you guys can be a part of that. You just got to make sure you're following me on all social medias, all that kind of stuff. And follow Angie, too. What's your OnlyFans again? What is that? What's that link to that again?
I'll put it in the description.
Put it in the description down below. But that is some of the Patreon stuff. But I also got to thank Another sponsor of this video this week, Angie, that you know a thing or two about. Sedeta. Hopefully I pronounced that right, but I think that is correct. It is the Sedeta company. Link in the description down below. But I got to thank them for reaching out, saying, hey, we'd like to sponsor an episode of the podcast, and we would like to send you your way a bookshelf display. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I love a good display, and Angie loves one even more. You love building it, but they sent us a 64-inch. 64-inch. Can you take
Too
that many
big.
inches? Too big? Too big. 64-inch display cabinet, LED lights, 4 shelves. What is it? 4 shelves on that thing. They sent that our way. LED lights to change all the lights and stuff. You guys know I love a good cabinet. We got the white one to match with our other bookcases in our collection. So, Angie, you put this together. How did it go?
I almost cried when I unboxed it because there was a lot of pieces.
A lot of pieces.
But it was smooth.
It was smooth as butter.
It went
Smooth
together.
as butter. Link in the description down below, of course, but it went together smooth. The lights are a nice feature, especially where we're looking at putting this, as we need more light in that room, so that will help the brightness there. I'm looking at using this for my Mondo figures, I think is what we're going to do. Or it could be the K-pop collection. We're not sure yet. We'll see what ends up happening. But Sedeta, check them out in the link in the description down below. Pretty economical, very sturdy bookcases. So you guys know I've had a lot of different bookcases throughout the years from a lot of different companies. Enjoyed this one here, and I think this is the first one we've ever had with LED lights included.
She's fancy.
It's
4 doors
fancy.
with acrylic. Is it acrylic?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's
Acrylic
like glass
doors.
kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all set, and they got plenty of options. They got computer desks, they got filing cabinets, they got all kinds of bookshelves. Check them out. Link in the description down below. Appreciate them sponsoring the channel, sponsoring the podcast. And if you want to sponsor the podcast, hit up the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, and you too can sponsor the blah, blah, blah. Sponsor the podcast if you want to. Easy for me to say. I was just affixed by your beauty there looking over. But if you want to sponsor it, check it out and link in the description down below. You guys know, and Angie will get right on those ones. And of course, I got one today, Angie, saying Red Bull would like to sponsor the channel. It looked all official once again, and then you look at the email and it's something wacky email. I'm like, man, what's with these people? What's with these people? But Sedeta, they're a real one out there. We did get them going on. So check it out. Link in the description down below. Angie, some other news here recently, and I just made you watch it. It is the trailer to the Masters of the Universe movie. Of course, Angie, you're familiar with Masters of the Universe, He-Man?
Yes, of course.
Have you ever seen the cartoon?
Yes.
You pretty much just know it from me, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't? Do you remember it? I mean, obviously, before you met me, you'd heard of it, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
I don't think you ever watched an episode.
No.
I don't think you ever collected the figures. No. And we'll get more of that in the question of the week, I think. But Angie, I did make her watch the Masters of the Universe trailer. It just recently came out. If you haven't seen it, it's all over YouTube and everything else like that. But a lot of people wondering about what's this going to be? Is it going to be good? We go back to the 80s one where I'm a little kid from the 80s. I enjoyed that movie, but I'll say even as like a 6-year-old kid, I said, I wish this was more like He-Man the cartoon and my He-Man action figures instead of having new characters, new things going on. Lost a lot, and a lot of people give it a lot of subpar ratings because of that. Well, this trailer we saw here today and everything we've kind of seen over the last year, basically, as they've been filming this movie, this looks like it could be playing a lot of hits for us. Hopefully, it does not veer too far from the lore of He-Man, because what Angie always says is, do what brought you back to the dance. Do what brought you to the dance. Stick to the hit. Play all the hits, and you'll win in the end. And I think we all want to have a story with He-Man versus Skeletor. We want the side characters. We want Castle Grayskull. Maybe a little Snake Mountain. Maybe at the end, a little Rise of Snake Men for a sequel. Maybe something like that. Can we get Moss Man? Can we get Stinkor? I guess we'll see. But we saw Fisto in there. We saw Spikor, Trapjaw, Beastman, Battlecat, Man-at-Arms, Roboto, He-Man, Skeletor, Teela, Evil Lyn. We saw a lot of characters. I got to think some more characters. Marlena, Queen Marlena in there. It should be really good. Now, a lot of people are like, why does He-Man have to always start on Earth? Why is he on Earth? Well, there's only 2 movies, but I'm okay with it because, Angie, I don't know if you knew this, that He-Man, mom was from Earth and King Randor was not. So they got together. So to me, it makes sense. They kind of set it up in the trailer from my one class away from a minor in film, Angie.
There we go.
I set this up to say, okay, I see what happens. There was attorney who was having great struggles, and they wanted to protect their son, a lot like Clark Kent, in
exactly
Superman.
what I was gonna say.
Very similar to that. They sent him back to Earth, and they're going to bring him back eventually, and we see that. So no, let's say the movie's an hour and a half. I'm hoping there's only 20 minutes on Earth. I hope it's not a long, drawn-out thing where it's an hour and 15 minutes on Earth, and then the last 25 minutes is, the great battle scene and all this. I hope that's not the case. we'll see what ends up happening. Angie, anything tickle your fancy?
The lead actor is questionable.
Really? Yeah.
As He-Man. I like that guy. I don't know his name, but
neither.
He's in a couple movies I've seen, but I don't know if I
Hallmark
buy
movies?
him as a He-Man.
Hallmark movies, Lifetime movies.
No.
So when you saw him, did you go? Any of that going on?
I was like,
No. Yeah, you said that hairdo. I'm not sure on that hairdo there. But I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to give him the He-Man hairdo. But I tell you what, I got chills, didn't I?
You did.
I got chills watching it, especially at the end.
Like rubbing those nips off.
Yeah, it was cutting glass is what I was doing. But yeah, it was. It gave me chills, so I am very excited. June 5th is the opening, so I will be going opening night. Angie, do you think you'll go?
I'll go with you.
She'll go, but under protest, I guess.
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, it'll be for your birthday. That's what I was just going to say. It'll be a perfect birthday gift for you. I don't know, but I'm very optimistic it's good. I feel like it'll be better than the Dolph Lundgren one. Now, when you're a little kid, you'll take almost anything. Maybe. But I think it will be better than that. So fingers crossed, but I'm sure most of you have seen the trailer by now, and Angie saw it just now for the first time. So hopefully, fingers crossed, like I said. But speaking of movies, Angie, people are clamoring. If you look at the comments, there was at least 100 comments.
Or
maybe.
two.
or zero, I'm not sure. But saying, Kyle, how's the Fulci movies coming? How are you getting through those Fulci movies? And in the last week since we last watched or last had the podcast, I talked about what I was watching. So in the meantime, between filming podcasts, here's what I've watched late at night, Angie, because if you're going to watch a Fulci movie, you don't do it at 10 o'clock in the morning. You watch it at you start that movie at 10 o'clock at night and you go to bed around midnight. That's the key. That's the key to the Fulci. I did watch most people say his best movie of all time. It'd be Zombie, Zombie 2, Flesh Eaters, whatever you want to call it. But Zombie, of course, most people know that one, the very famous eye scene, the very famous scuba diving scene, and of course, the most famous, the shark versus zombie scene in that one. Check out the Fulci Zombie. That is his masterpiece, a lot of people say. But some people also say the movie The Beyond is his masterpiece. So I've seen Zombie, I've seen probably 5 times. That's probably the one, that is the one I've seen the most. The Beyond, I watched for the second time. City of the Living Dead, we talked about that last week. It's part of his Hellgate trilogy, which really isn't a trilogy. The only thing that really makes it a trilogy is the same actress in all 3 movies. I think she plays different roles, so it's like, that's not a trilogy, but people say it is. They try to link it together and stuff. But I watched City of the Living Dead, which didn't really get me rock.
Didn't give you chicken skin.
Didn't get me rock hard. Didn't get me hard as rock. But it was okay. It was worth watching once. Maybe in the future I'll watch it again. But The Beyond, I watched it again, and I always enjoyed The Beyond. And you know what I'm talking about with The Beyond. You've seen all these movies, of course. The Beyond, I always like the end, especially when they go down. It's basically the lady inherits, or I think she inherits, or buys a hotel in Louisiana, and basically it's one of the gates of hell. And
I was going to say, it sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, in the
gates of hell part.
In the bottom, and at the very end, they're fighting all the zombies and stuff, and it's truly Beyond. I mean, the end of the movie really takes it up a notch. So I enjoy The Beyond. That was a really good one to watch. And then the third one is A House by the Cemetery, which is crazy with the overdubbing. And they got a little kid in this movie, and he looks kind of like He-Man as a little kid, a little blonde-haired kid. I think his name's Bob, of all things. But it's so overdubbed. It's over the top, especially this kid's voice. It doesn't match anything with it. But I remember hating
It's like an adult's voice.
Kind of. I remember hating it the first time I watched it. I don't understand this. But I actually enjoyed that the most out of those 3 watch on a further watch. And I don't know if it took me a second watch to understand the movie. I remember I was totally confused by the movie the first time I watched it. It was one of those. And then now I watched it, I think I understand the whole movie. So I was kind of proud of myself. And that was that one class away from a minor in film, really coming through, really being able to figure that movie out. So I enjoyed.
You loosely pay attention, though. You're always multitasking.
Yeah, I'm multitasking.
But there's a lot to the plot. Ooh.
It's tough. It's tough. But I hung in there, and I think on the rewatch is what helped. I connected some dots, maybe. Yeah. But it's been 10 years in between watches, so it is what it is. That's House by the Cemetery.
It took you 10 years to understand.
But then, Angie, in a plot twist, I said, I got to stop, because Fulci only has so many horror movies. I said, I got to go to some of his other movies, because he does comedies, westerns. He does a lot of different stuff. And I don't know if I'm going to get too deep into his early, Italian comedy stuff. from like, I don't know, the 60s. I don't know if I need to watch that. But I did watch a movie. It's a Western called For of the Apocalypse. And most people know that with that one class away from a minor in film, one of those studies was on Western. So I'm pretty much an epic Western connoisseur, as you could say.
Are we still on the first segment?
We're still there. we're working our way through it here. We're working our way.
If we were in a deeper dive or if we were.
We'll get deeper in a second. You're always wanting to go deeper. We'll get deeper on you. Don't worry. We'll get it. We'll take care of you here. But the movie is called For of the Apocalypse, which is a very interesting Western. And the thing I love about Fulci is they call him like the master of gore and stuff. And he brings some of those elements into the Westerns. And you think of Westerns, you think people shooting around and stuff. So you get to see some of that, but it's a little bit more violent, a little bit more bloody, which I'm here for that, especially in the 70s movie. Is basically about like this prostitute chick. And then there was like a gambler guy that like cheats, hides cards in his stuff. And there was a slow guy. We'll call him a slow guy. They called him other things in the 70s, but a slow guy and a drunk. So For the Apocalypse. And basically, I guess the town just said, hey, you guys get the heck out of here. They threw him in jail, and then they gave him like a little wagon and a horse and said, get out of here. And they moseyed on, and they came across like a sadistic guy, like a Satanist or something out there in the desert. And they thought he was his friend. Obviously, he wasn't their friend. And, the drunk, they tied up the slow guy, and then they tied up the main character and the girl. And then the drunk guy was so drunk all the time, he's like begging the guy for drinks. The guy would like drink his whiskey and then spit it into his mouth. That's how desperate he was for the bottle. He had the brown bottle flu like you. But, the guy, of course, took the girl to the limits out there as she was tied up. You know how that goes, and made everybody watch. You know how that goes. And then, they swore vengeance against him. And then they finally, of course, For the Apocalypse, they did get the revenge on that guy later. But then the main character guy fell in love with the girl, the whole story on the road. And unfortunately, she did die. She did give birth and died at the same time later on. We're not sure if it was the Satanist guy's baby or his baby. We're not sure who it was.
Oh my God.
It was a crazy thing, but that guy got his revenge in the end. Slow guy got killed along the way too. So, and there was a scene there where they were starving out in the desert. They're just dying because they haven't eaten forever. There's no food or whatever. And then the slow guy actually carved some meat off of the Satan guy or one of these guys, and they basically ate with their friend, and they told him about it later. So it was a wild movie. It was worth a watch though, if you're into that kind of stuff. For the Apocalypse. And then last but certainly not least, the one that stole my heart, the one I've been kind of putting off a little bit. It's a movie called Contraband. You know this one?
Mm-mm.
Great theme song to Contraband. Absolutely love the theme song to it. But I finally give it a watch. Now, I'm not a big fan of like Sopranos, gangsters, movies like that. Are you?
Mm.
You dabble?
I dabble.
You dabble in a lot of things. I know that's for sure. But I'm not a big fan of that stuff, really. But once again, Fulci's doing it. It's going to be a little bit more gory. I thought it'd be pretty good. So I checked it out. It's basically about these two brothers, and the main character is one of the brothers, and they're like cigarette smugglers, I think is what it is. Like, it's back in the 70s. There was Dino Bravo, the wrestler, died smuggling cigarettes, got killed. So it was a thing. I don't know if it's probably still a thing somewhere, but not everywhere. But basically, the one brother gets killed. I'm spoiling these things. One brother gets killed, and the other brother is looking for revenge. So it turned into kind of Death Wish. If you know the Charles Bronson Death Wish, had a little of that vibe too. And he's getting his revenge. But like almost the entire movie, he's trying to get revenge on all these mobsters that are dealing like cocaine, all this other stuff. He's trying to get his revenge, and they keep one-upping him. And they took his wife to the limits too. They just right in front of everybody once again. They just took turns, and then they had the phone, and they made him listen to it all as it was going on. So it was a tough road for him. It was a tough road. And, they were doing stuff, shooting him up, trying to kill him, beating him up, and all this. There was a really cool scene in there where this girl tried to like cheat these drug smuggler mobster guys. And like, they're hip to it. They know if it's the premium stuff, and they're testing all this, and they found out it wasn't. And he just grabbed that chick's hair, and he like got this big old like flame, like a torch, and he just sat there and he just torched her face for it was like a 5-minute scene, and you just see it going blacker and blacker, and she's just screaming in pain the whole time. It was a wild thing, but that's what these mobsters do. They no holds barred, like Zeus and Hulk Hogan in the 80s is what it is.
I'm scared. So
that was a pretty crazy one. And then they took his wife to the limits and made him listen to everything else and all that. But it was really cool. It was a weird thing throughout the movie, and what I loved about this, of course, it was foreshadowing. It was a little bit of this stuff. But it's in Italy. It's based in Italy. You think of stereotypical Italy and all this stuff, mobsters and gangsters and all that stuff. And they kept showing this old man, and he's sitting there at this table, and he's got like his cereal, his oatmeal or whatever. It's like an old man. He's got glasses on. He's watching like Westerns on TV. He's just sitting here like an old man, like my grandpa back in the day, watching like a Western or something. And they cut to him, and they wouldn't really do anything. Like, what is this all about? Well, it all tied together at the very end that this was like the original gangster of Italy, this old guy. And he basically picks up the phone. It was like a Zach Morris phone in the 70s, but it was like even bigger. And he picks this thing up and is like his housemaid, nurse, whatever, she hands the phone. And he basically calls and basically gets the band back together. And then all of a sudden they cut to all this scene of these like old 60, 70-year-old former gangsters, gave the life up for the new generation that said, we don't like what's going on in the streets of Italy. And then they're going to team up and help our character that's trying to get revenge and all that stuff. And it's pretty sweet. You get this one old guy, he like puts his grandkids to bed, and then he goes in and he gets this big old shotgun out. Like he's like, hello, old friend, one of those kind of things. You get this old guy that looks like he's my tax guy or something. He's sitting there with a little pistol, and he's cleaning the pistol the old way. And then all of a sudden there's an amazing scene where like all of a sudden the bad guys are in this like streets, and all of a sudden, there's a newspaper stand, and the stand lifts up, and there's the guy with the shotgun, boom, and then there's a car, and then there's this old guy with the car, the guy, he's pow, pow. And then there's the old guy that is like the leader. He does an old-fashioned drive-by in like a buggy. It was a wild thing, but it always is cool when you get the band back. It's like the Expendables or something. Like, oh yeah, they're getting their comeuppance in there. The old guys are all into it. So I was all in on this movie, and I love the final shit. Like this one bad guy gets shot, his guts all come out and stuff. So it does have the subtitles once again, but it's got everything I want in those action movies. So
not me.
Fulchi, a beautiful, beautiful scene. So I got a few more Fulchis. I'm going to keep the updates going, even though nobody cares. Nobody cares about my Fulchi.
Somebody does. Or did they? Didn't?
No, nobody did.
No one really commented.
Nobody did. Nobody did. But if you want to, I would really appreciate it. So a lot going on right there this week, Angie, as we see 21 minutes into things. But we got a few other things to talk about. As Angie's ready to go deeper, it's time for a deeper dive. All right, Angie, it's time for a deeper dive. Your favorite part or your second favorite part?
First part.
Favorite part? Worst part?
Yeah, I like a deeper dive, and then I like a snack.
Then she likes a snack after. And we're gonna get you where you want to be. We're gonna get you a snack next.
I'm wheezing, like smoking my whole life.
Oh man, you've been smoking a thing or two. What's it mean to smoke a pole is what Angie says. But here we are, a deeper dive. And Angie, this week we're going into something interesting. We're going into nicknames. Oh. Now, it's going to be interesting because I had to write them down. I have a lot of nicknames throughout my life. And like most people, I think your nicknames come and go depending on the audience you keep. Mm-hmm. Your family might have a nickname for you. Your friends might have a nickname. Maybe friends from childhood. Maybe you grew out of them. Maybe you're sporting. Whatever it may be, you might have some nicknames. And I've got a lot more than I thought of. And maybe you'll think of some that you've heard in the past and some of the nicknames you call me maybe over there. What do you call me usually?
Nothing.
That's part of the problem. She calls me nothing.
Hey.
You go, hey.
Hey, cutie.
Yeah. It's funny is sometimes I do call you mom, which I guess is a nickname.
I always just like refer to you as dad because
Yeah.
I'm always talking to the kids about you.
I guess. I say, hey, mom. I'll say every once in a while, hey, mom, can you go get this or whatever, which is weird. So
it is weird.
I don't know what that means. So there's psychological.
We're a little comfortable.
Did I let you know that I'm 8 classes away from a minor in sociology and psychology?
Oh God,
that's true. It is. But Angie, we're going to talk nicknames here. And do you have some? You want me to go first? Or you want to give out some of your nicknames that you've had?
So people would call me by my last name, but I don't know if I want to say it.
Oh, your old last name?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Nobody can pronounce it. Sketskovina. No.
People would be like, hey, legs, hey, lash. Like, people always just said weird things.
Legs.
Yeah, because I have long legs.
What else? That's it?
Growing up, my family called me Ela, but I don't even know where that comes from.
Angela, Ela, Angela, so.
That's about it. That's about it.
Nobody ever, what'd your friends call you? Just Angie?
Ange.
A lot of Anges going on.
Yes.
I always imagine.
I'm very informal. People just know to call me Ange.
Yeah.
I don't even tell them.
Huh. So yeah, you're riveting in this deeper dive again. Great nicknames. Great nicknames over the years. Now, nicknames are great because there was a Seinfeld episode. I don't think you've ever seen really Seinfeld, but there was a Seinfeld where George, I forget what it was though, now that I think of it, but he wanted a nickname so bad. It was trying to get like a nickname and then nobody would give it to him. They gave it to somebody else. They gave him a nickname that he hated. And that's the worst part, to get a nickname you hate. So you never had a teacher that gave you a nickname you hated or anything?
No. The nickname that sticks out is my dad because everyone called him Jorge. His name was George.
George, Jorge. Yeah, I get that. That's one, of course. But yeah, nicknames, I've been all over the place. So I guess I'll start. So the one nickname I always hated, it was when I was in Little League. And it sucked being in Little League for me because my birthday was the day of the cutoff. So especially when you're young, like I've told the story before that I didn't grow until I was in college. I was like 5'6", like when I graduated high school or something like that. And then I grew I grew like 6 inches in college. So in more ways than one, but I grew and then I remember coming back like after my first year in college, and you'd see people from high school and be like, no way, you're Kyle Peterson. No way, you've grown 6 inches and you put on 30, 40 pounds of muscle. There's no way. But yeah, I'd have to show my ID.
I've been this tall since 8th grade.
That's crazy. But when I was in Little League, I was like the little guy, and it always just drove me nuts. I always batted first. I was always the speedster because I was always basically a year younger than everybody I played with, which really sucked because if I was just born a different date, I would have been the oldest guy. So then you would have been, whatever. But
should have held you back.
Couldn't because it all went off age.
Oh.
So I couldn't do that. But anyways, my Little League coach would always call me Pete, which was an easy way out. Because you look at the bag, Peterson, Pete. Hey, Pete. You didn't have to learn my first name. And you call me Pete all the time. Hey, Pete Peterson. I'd be like, get out of here. I hate you. So I hated that. It just was nails on the chalkboard. And you can't tell somebody to stop calling me that. Okay, Pete. Little Pete, let's post him on the head. So I absolutely hated that one. But then the one I had all my life until my grandpa passed away, my grandpa always called me Buck. That was the name, Buck. He'd say, hey, Buck. And I remember one time I was in like high school. My grandma was like, stop calling him Buck. His name's Kyle. You don't have to call him Buck. And I was like, no, I'm fine with it. He's called at me my whole life. And that was based on when I was born. I was born with like pneumonia and I had to live in the hospital for like a couple of months. So obviously I cost the big bucks. Just like today. So follow the money at the end of the day.
Cost $1 million. But
my grandpa always called me Buck. So whenever I think of that, I always think of my grandpa. So I had no problems with that nickname. He was the only one that ever called me that. And then KP, that's a name a lot of people call me, especially at work. I hear that a lot. Hey, KP. And that
you have a lot of nicknames.
I do. I'm not even halfway through. Like KP, you hear that all the time. That's kind of like Ange, I guess, is kind of the equivalent. Hey, KP. So that's one that fits. For many years, I was known as Juan. Of course, Taco John's, Taco Juan. That was in Spanish class in high school. They said you can pick whatever name you want to be. I said, I want to be Taco John, named after a restaurant in the Midwest. I think it goes all the way out to Wyoming, but wanted to be named after Taco John's. And the teacher and I agreed on Juan, so I could be Juan. So then a lot of people called me Juan for a long time.
My French name was Ange.
Ange, okay. Angie calls me Long Juan sometimes, every once in a while, too. Obviously, another one that many people know me as is the Pizza King. I walk into a lot of places and, Pizza King's here because of my famous pizza endeavors long before this YouTube channel and the podcast and everything else. Local celebrity status in the pizza world, Angie. You were married to the Pizza Queen, the King, and people said, are you the Pizza Queen? I don't think anybody ever said that, but the Pizza King was one for my food reviews and all that kind of stuff. I know a good pizza, that's for sure. Kip was one. I don't think you've ever heard the story of Kip. As a little kid, there was neighbors. Every kid, when you grow up on a street, there's always little kid neighbors. And I was, like 8th grade or something. And this kid's in like 5th grade or 5, 6 years old or whatever. And for some reason, he couldn't call me Kyle. He called me Kip. And I just rolled with it. And then my buddy Scott, he called him Scooter. And Kip and Scooter. and he would come over to like, my parents and we would be gone at work or whatever. Is Kip or Scooter home? He's like... So we used to hang out with him. His name was Jesse. He was a little blonde-haired kid. He always enjoyed talking and stuff. And it's weird. Whenever you're a little kid growing up, there's always an older kid on the street you liked like that. You idolized. I remember when I was a kid, like 6 years old, there was this brother combo that lived around the corner, and they had a half pipe skateboard in the backyard, and we used to skateboard on that thing all the time back when I was a skateboarder. So you always looked up to them. Oh my gosh, they're in 8th grade. I'm in 1st grade or whatever. They're the coolest guys ever. And we got to pass on that tradition to those guys once upon a time. So Kip came from that one. Bread Jesus is another one. I hear that a lot here too. Of course, that has to do with my day job. I hear Bread Jesus a lot. I'm the Jesus of bread. So Bread Jesus, that makes a lot of sense. West Side KP, of course, grew up on the mean streets of the West Side. Oh, there's old West Side KP just fighting to stay alive. Class of 1984. You seen that movie? That was my childhood.
I thought you were saying that's when you went graduate.
That was my childhood, the class of 84. You should watch it. Michael J. Fox is in it, so maybe you would watch it. I don't know. But that is that West Side KB. A lot of people from action figures know me as the Larry Bird of action figure collecting. That's a play on Matt Cardona being the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen being Brian Myers. They said, well, who's Kyle? I said, I'm the Larry Bird, because he was my favorite when I was a little kid. My dad was a huge Celtics fan, so a lot of Larry Bird magic around the house. So we enjoyed a little Larry Bird. And then my last one, it looks like, that I can think of, unless you think of any I've missed.
No.
No, nothing. Okay. The last one is Carl. For a long time, I was known as Carl instead of Kyle. And that goes back to my 8th grade science teacher, where his name was Mr. Underfer. And he could not say Kyle to save his life. He said, Carl, Carl. And he spoke like that.
Did he have an accent?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know where he was from. Whatever. It was Carl. Carl. And he would always, he couldn't say Kyle, it'd be Carl. And I'll never forget my dad going to parent-teacher conferences and just like confused, thought he was talking about the wrong kid, because he kept saying Carl. And my dad was, in on the joke after that. And then my buddy Danny would always call me Carl. Hey, Carl. And, for a long time I was known as Carl because this guy couldn't say Kyle. It was a wild thing. But that's some of my nicknames. I'm sure there's been a few more around there as well. I don't know. I can't believe you don't have more nicknames, knowing all the things you get yourself into. I don't know. I mean, I got some fun ones that I won't share on here, but I'm trying to think if I've ever heard anybody call you anything else. Huh. Just usually a lot of 4-letter words thrown your way. So there it is, a little nickname. Be interested to hear if you have any good nicknames and if there's any significance to those nicknames. And I was trying to think. I remember there was a time I was really trying to this is going to be a sweet nickname for me, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, another one I had was El Guapo from my Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Bungle is too. So I have my Wrangler that I got. I worked so hard. I paid that Wrangler off full year of work when I was living at home and stuff. I bought a brand new Jeep Wrangler. It's the prized possession. I think it's here we are in 2026 and it's got 26,000 miles on it. Original miles. It's my baby. I'll have it till I die. But I had a sticker on the windshield. The Jeep's got the lift kit, all that stuff. It was Mr. Bungle forever. And I'm a big fan of the band Mr. Bungle. A lot of people didn't know that, but they'd say, oh, Mr. Bungle's here. Hey, Mr. Bungle, all that kind of stuff. And then after years, that kind of deteriorated. I put an El Guapo, and that's what's up there right now. So the handsome, of course. So El Guapo is another one there.
I'm El Guapo.
So are we done? Are we done with this one? Do you know anything else?
I got nothing.
She's got nothing. She's got no help on this deeper dive. But she's plenty of help when it's time to try new foods, because they might taste good.
We can try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new food because they might taste good.
All right, Angie, it's time to try new foods because they might taste good. And Angie's got something extra special this week, and it's a carryover from last week in a lot of ways. What do you got this week, Angie?
Sat on it.
Oh, great. It's extra warm.
More Chips Ahoy. This is the cinnamon bun.
Cinnamon bun warmed up by your buns. You sitting on it. We'll see how it tastes. See if it tastes like those buns. We'll see. You're supposed to do that when you cough. All right, cinnamon.
I can't reach it. You took it away.
What do we got going on
You read
here?
up on it. Try one.
Create your own ice cream sandwich, too, of course. 140 calories, 2 cookies per serving. Cinnabon. I love a good Cinnabon. The store that's in the mall, gas stations, whatever. Absolutely love those. Doesn't smell like Cinnabon to me.
Oh, yeah. It's cinnamony.
I don't smell it.
And it got white chocolate chips.
Actually, this side smells better than this side, so it's interesting how that works. I don't know, but I enjoy it.
These are so small.
They are kind of small. I don't know. Do you think you could take it all in one bite?
Mm-hmm.
You think you can take the whole thing?
I might choke.
You're really good at taking the whole thing. Oh, yeah, easily. You easily can do it. Easily.
It's another day in the office.
I've seen you at work, that's for sure. But let's give it a shot, Angie. Let's see what this Cinnabon tastes like. Brand new. I don't think we had this in the past when I worked there. First bite, it's different. I like the chewy nature. I said it last week. I prefer the chewy Chips Ahoy over the hard Chips Ahoy. You like things harder usually. You don't like them soft, right?
I like them hard, yeah.
Yeah, she likes them hard, real hard.
I do like them soft.
Just don't work right when they're soft.
It's actually kind of good. It doesn't taste chemically.
I was just going to say that. A lot of times Chips Ahoy has a nice chemically flavor.
Nice
Now,
chemically.
people just love that chemically flavor. I don't get that. So that must be something to do with the chocolate in the Chips Ahoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overly cinnamony, though, I don't think.
It's pretty cinnamony. It's good. I'm actually surprised. I like it way
This would
better
be
than
good.
the one
This-
last week.
Yeah, this would be good in the microwave for like 5 seconds, too.
Good. If
These
you
are
like,
pretty
if you
good.
like cinnamon, definitely.
They got a little bit of like a Christmas cookie flair,
Yeah.
like something like a seasonal Christmas, like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, I'm not a huge Chips Ahoy guy, and I think it must be the chocolate I don't like a ton in the Chips
Like
Ahoy.
if I didn't know, you could convince me this is like a homemade cookie versus like a chips, because it doesn't taste like.
Yeah. We'll have 2. It's only 140 calories if you have 2. Why
I'm
would
not.
you?
I'm just looking at it. I'm getting my germs all over.
Yeah, this is
It's actually good.
it's growing on me.
I mean, I'm not like a huge cinnamon like cookie person, but I'm actually shocked that it doesn't taste chemically.
Yeah, there's 0 chemical flavor to this one. Usually, like I said, I think that must be the chocolate they're using in Chips Ahoy that makes them chemically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Angie, what do you think?
I'm gonna get a bit of 3.75.
3.75 out of 5. How about that? You know what I'm giving it?
Hmm.
I'm going 4, like the 4 Horsemen, or the 4 of the Apocalypse, like that movie. I'm gonna be the slow guy. That's what I'm gonna be.
I'll be the prostitute.
Perfect. I'll put my money down on the table a little bit
Except
later.
the slow guy never got it in, so you're on the outs, buddy.
I might though.
You're like, I'm switching
I'm
characters.
switching characters. I'm gonna be the car dealer.
Yummy, get them.
Yeah,
They're good.
I gotta say, definitely worth out. And I forgot to mention, try new foods because they might taste good. Brought to you by Deutsch Snacking Dough, Angie. Another good cookie you do enjoy. Use the link. Use the link in the description down below. Save yourself 20%. Some of you guys have been taking advantage of that. Those are really good too. And if you want something a little bit more healthy than these, obviously. But Deutsch Snacking Dough, check out the link in the description down below. Support the channel. There you go.
You need to follow your own link and buy me more.
I know we need to get some more. I think we're all out. So you got some work to do on that too.
I've been out since like 2 days after we got them.
Oh my goodness. What are we going to do? But Angie, that's try new foods because they might taste good. We're going to find something good for next week. We got a few things weighing in the wings, but we'd like to find something that's really going to gobsmack us. Smack you right
I think
in.
we need to taste weird stuff. I think
Yeah,
we're
but-
boring.
I don't know. You guys sound off in the comments. To me, I think people want to see the new Chips Ahoy, the new Oreos, the new Frito stuff, the stuff that everybody's heard of. But if you get like a cookie, just some random cake bar or something, like nobody's even heard of that in the first place, then it's like, well, you're trying something I've never heard of, nothing I've even tasted for it. Like most people could say, I understand what a Chips Ahoy tastes like.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you guys sound off. There's something. Do you want to do that?
I think people would rather see me dry heaving on an anchovy or something.
Yeah, we'd like to see you drive heave on a few things. There's people who pay good money for that, but you do have those habanero peppers. Do you want us to do the habanero peppers? Do you want Angie to die?
Ghost pepper? What are they?
Yeah, you probably better do that as last segment because it'll probably ruin the rest of the episode for you. You probably
It might cure me. It might like clear out my sinus.
a little cure-all. I got some of that. I got my special elixir
That's for
I
the
make.
throat. I need something for them.
Yeah, well,
Can't put that up there. That's trouble.
Oh, yeah, we've seen it. But there it is, Angie. That is try new foods because it might taste good. And give your guys recommendations down in the comments below. Do you want us to go something crazy that's weird, or should we keep going with this? Or a mix? I guess, I don't know. Is what it is. But Angie, it's time for Tales from Retail. All right, Angie, it's time for Tales from Retail, and this week's an interesting one, which made me take a trip down memory lane, as these usually do as well. And I'm going to test Angie's memory lane, is what we're going to test here today. We tested your lips, both sets of them earlier. We're testing the memories this time here. But Angie, this is an interesting one, as I was on Facebook, just cruising around Facebook. You know, you get recommended groups and things like that.
You do?
You don't belong to any Facebook groups. That's the thing. You just have friends on there. And Angie's never even on Facebook, so you don't even know. But I'm in tons of wrestling groups and sport, millions of different groups. That's what I do on Facebook. It's just groups and message boards and stuff. That's my Facebook experience. Angie is looking at kids of
I just
people
check
she
to
went
see
to
if
school
it's
with.
people's birthdays and tell them happy birthday and log off.
And then get off real quick. She loves telling people birthdays. And we talked about that before. She'll put, happy birthday, Kyle. Thanks. Thanks.
I feel weird being like saying something sappy on the internet.
It breaks my heart, in all honesty. I said people just think you're not real or something. It's weird. But I was perusing, back to the story here, the Tales from Retail. I was perusing, and a group came up, and it was like friends and family of Dolls food stores. Now, as you remember Dolls, of course. It was a grocery chain in the Midwest, even down in Kansas City for a portion of their life. And it was a big behemoth for a while, but its star burned very bright, and it went out of business in like 2015. And that was a crazy time for me because I was a manager. I'll never forget going to one of their stores, and they were closing. They were closing the stores. They were going out of business. They weren't paying their bills. And I had to go talk to one of their managers. And he's like, well, and this was back when I was at Nabisco. He's like, I need a credit. I need, $80 in credit you guys owe us for damaged product or something like that. And I said, well, unfortunately, your company owes us like $450,000. I said, you guys are way back behind. We're going to stop delivering to you guys because we haven't been paid for 6 months. We've been doing this good faith thing. You owe us almost $500,000. And we weren't the only company with this issue.
Oh, no.
And the manager's like, well, I don't know anything about that, but I know I need my $85 for those Chips Ahoy. And I just said, you just take it off the tab.
You're like, okay, Brian.
Yeah, we'll take it off the tab. And there was a lot of good managers there. There was a lot of evil managers over there. And I remember, I'll never forget when I remember I was a sales rep at the time, and there was the holiday season. It was around Thanksgiving. And obviously everybody knows about Ritz crackers. Those were hot for Thanksgiving, hot year round, but Thanksgiving especially. And I will never forget that I saw the writings on the wall, and I said, this isn't going to last another year. And it didn't, because they had Ritz at Walmart. You could buy a pack. You could buy 3 packs of Ritz at Walmart for the price of one at Dolls.
Oh my God.
Like, that tells you all you need to know. So they got to the decision, like, we can't compete with the other chains. We're struggling to compete with Walmart. What do? And they looked themselves in the mirror and said, I know what we do. Let's raise our prices. So they skyrocketed all their prices, and their only shoppers they were hanging on to were the very old people that were very dedicated. I've shopped here 50 years, whatever. But they're gouging those old people left and right. No new up-and-comers coming in there. The young kids were like, hey, I'm going where the deals are. I'm going for the flash. And unfortunately, our friends at Dolls did go out of business. And there was a lot of shenanigans on the way out. They knew they were closing down. Some guys cashed out early and got a lot of the money. And a lot of those guys that worked, 40 years got nothing from their pensions, all that. It was a whole fiasco. It was a tough time. And a lot of good people lost their jobs. Some landed on their feet, other retail stores and stuff. But I'll never forget as a kid calling on them, my first sales rep experience. Now, when I was a kid, I worked at their competing grocery store that was down the street. So it was what was going on. We told stories. I think we told the story on this channel about the time me and good old Carzoli went and got all the Cool Whip. Yep. And we talked about that. So that was that store. But I did come across that in that Facebook group. It was like Dolls Memories or something. And a lot of obituaries posted in there. So I'm going through this and I'm seeing people that I knew that have died over the last 5 years or something. And, it's out of sight, out of mind. You see people every day and then you just don't see them anymore. That's the way it goes. Mm-hmm. But one really caught my eye right here. Mike Hickson was his name. You probably do not remember this
I don't
at all.
remember the name, but he looks familiar.
So he was at the Dolls on Beaver. So we lived not too far from there. So he was an older guy, passed away at 72 years old, unfortunately here, but he was an interesting cat, and it really caught my eye, and it really made me just think back to my younger days as a sales rep, cutting a rug out there on the streets, doing a lot of moving and shaking. You had your 12 stores or whatever it was, and you saw the same people every day. You were selling and trying to get your foot in the door. And I don't know if I've ever told, maybe I will. I'll give you guys some master class on the art of the deal, like a young Donald Trump. Didn't he write that, the art of the deal or something like that, or the master of the deal? I don't know, but you remember when I grew the Raleigh Fingers mustache?
Oh, yeah.
I used to have the big Raleigh Fingers, and I did that as a young man because usually you see old people with stuff like that, or you see Raleigh Fingers. I grew that mustache because, guess what? I'm a young up-and-comer. I don't want my stores to forget who I am. I want to make an impression, and nobody's going to forget a young kid with a Raleigh Fingers mustache. They're going to remember that, and then that gets your foot in the door for future conversation. Be the butt of the joke if you want to, if they want to talk about it. Someone, what kind of wax are you using? What are you doing? It was a conversation starter. And, at the end of the day, if you're in sales, it doesn't matter what it is. People buy from people they like. And if you can form a relationship, a bond, something like that, they're going to buy from you. And I can tell you all 12 of my stores I had back in the day, I didn't have to sell them on anything. And I remember I had a boss one time come to me, Kyle, you didn't use fact-based selling. You didn't use numbers. You didn't do any of that. I said, I didn't have to. They trust me. I didn't have to sit there and wow them with a bunch of numbers. I could do that if I had to, but they buy for people they like. They buy people that are consistent and take care of them. They knew like clockwork that Kyle's in the store every Wednesday, Friday from 10 to noon or whatever it was. They knew they trusted me. They had their trust in me. Kyle, you'll make it right. Now, where I started to have to learn this is when I became a Nabisco sales rep as a young kid. Angie, story time with Kyle here, of course, Tales from Retail. I took over for a guy that was a pretty big POS. He basically, for the last year, could care less. I'll never forget, I inherited his company car. And I was like, oh, man, I'm getting a company car. I was all excited. I was very excited. It was a Sebring, if I remember correctly, that baby blue Sebring or something.
I could just like smell the second you started talking about it, I can like smell it.
Smelled good?
No, in a bad way. Wasn't it like nasty?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I've had a few nasty cars we've had to clean and do and stuff. But anyways, I remember getting there, and in the trunk of that Sebring, there was like piles of dollar off Oreo cookies. To a salesman, that is gold. Oreo's selling their own just fine. You got a $1 off coupon. Hey, Mr. Manager, I have $200 off coupons. Can I build a huge display and put these coupons on there? Natural, easy, slam dunk all day long. He had them 6 months expired, and he never even used them. So I was like, oh, so mad about that. But he let the whole route just fall apart to where they were hating the name Nabisco. They hated everybody. So I had to step into 12 angry stores, try to win them over, try to regain sales, try to step up. And I looked for every angle. Now, I was much younger. There was no kids. We weren't even married at the time, I don't think. Yeah, we probably were. No, we weren't married at the time. No, we were not married yet. So I was working all the angles, Angie, out there. I was a ladies' man. I'd unbutton this shirt a little bit more just if I had to. There was a lot going on, but this doll store, which was very close to our house. And one thing I'll tell you about those 12 stores, every single one of those stores would say, Kyle buys all of his weekly groceries at our store. We would go to a different grocery store all the time, full carts of groceries, you and me. Oh, hey, what's going on? I'm just doing my grocery shopping because they think, oh, he supports us. We're going to support him. It's all part of the whole game, Angie. It's part of the game. But I did. And I always bought stuff like, especially that store. It was usually my last stop of the day. Here's a gallon of milk. Here's whatever. I would buy that. And I would make it a point to make sure to be seen. Get credit for the visit. What are we doing here? So anyways, this manager here, I remember the first day I go around, I have my new business cards. I'm going to introduce myself. Now, knowing my predecessor really set the place on fire. So I was walking into a pretty tough go. It was kind of like Contraband, but different. A little bit of Class 84 and a little bit of Contraband. It was kind of like that. But Mike here was one of the very toughest ones. And he was a guy that had poker face 24/7. And he was a bigger guy. And it's crazy, 72. I'm trying to do the math here.
Probably like
he was still older than me. I was going to say,
yeah.
was he my age when I was doing this? But no, he was like still about 8-10 years older than me. But it's funny to put yourself in that where I was young and he was about my age. So it's a weird thing. But I'll never forget going to him and him just looking at me and like not saying two words. He wasn't a very talkative guy. And give him my card. I'm Kyle. I'm going to be in here. You'll see me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You'll see me coming in here. You'll see me in and out. Anything you need, I'm here. All that, that whole rigmarole. And he just like looked at me and took the card and like never acknowledged my presence. No, nice to meet you. No, hey, good to see you. Hey, you're old guys. He didn't give me anything. He just turned around, sat down, went back to his computer. I'm like, and I'm just standing there like this, like looking around like, okay, all right. Now, I did talk to the assistants, some of the other managers started like, yeah, he's pretty tough and it's going to be a long time before you get into his good graces. So I saw that as an immediate challenge is what I saw is how can I get in here? And Angie, you know how it is when somebody's mad at me or you're mad at me or the kids, I just keep poking the bear all the time. I keep going until you finally start talking or you start laughing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's where I was with him. I would go giggle. I would do little like stuff like that. No, I wouldn't do that, but I would always talk to him. I'd go up to the desk every time I came in because they used to have a little crow's nest. Walk right up there. Hey, how's it going today? What's up? What's going on? And he would just sit there, nothing. Go back to his work. And I'm like, do you want to get on this Oreo or whatever? Talk to Jim or whatever. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. So it went on and on, but I never gave up. It was a challenge. Always talk to him. Always try to get conversation flowing. Go in there with groceries, stuff like that. And then it just took a time. But he saw over time, Kyle, like clockwork, is always in here. He's always talking to her. There's never issues. There's nothing. And eventually what happened, we became best friends. That's what it did. It was like the odd couple. But then he would start talking to me. Oh, there he is. There he is. Back again. I had short hair back then. So I'm sure what he would have thought of my long hair. But he would give me a hard time. But he was one of the hardest guys to ever break down. But I like the challenge. And I kind of enjoy that, and that's one thing I do miss in this modern era here, the post-COVID era at grocery stores, as there was a lot of old guys that have been in the trenches a long time. And that's where it's really weird for me, because in a lot of ways I'm like a young guy in what I do, but I'm also like very old soul. Like I'm Bread Jesus. I've been around centuries at this point. But I'm like an old guy as far as things go, but also a young guy. And it's weird that I'm like that weird between time where I remember the crazy old days, the crazy stories, stuff that would never happen in a million years, to where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. There's good and bad on both. Technology helps a lot, but it also hinders a lot. It hinders a lot of communication. And now there's so many stores in all these companies that they don't even talk to their managers of the stores. Like people got their earbuds in. Like that would drive me crazy. People wearing tennis shoes, earbuds and stuff, that drove, I hate it. I hate it. But he was one that took a long time to work over. And he did retire in 2013. It said, I was a manager at that time, but I didn't deal with him as much then. But for a good year, and long story short, I took over that terrible route and all that kind of stuff. I ended up being the #1 Nabisco route in the United States that year, turning the business around. So I felt very proud, and that helped me get promoted, obviously, as you can imagine. So, but he was a big part of that challenge. And it's unfortunate to see that company go out of business, especially that store, which was quite the store, just to see that down. And he was very lucky, because I think they went out of business in 2015. He would have got his full retirement. So he would have got all that great retirement stuff. So kudos for him, because he did pass away at 72, as we see right here. But I don't know if he remembers me so much, especially in later years, but I'll never forget him, because the minute I saw this face, I was like, man, and it really makes you wonder, like, how many more managers. And there's a lot of people I've known over the years that have passed away, some great mentors to me. My buddy Fred, of course. John Vishek was a guy's name. He was a produce manager for years, a huge champion to me when I was a kid, took me under his wing to train me on how to order and do all kinds of stuff. It's crazy to see those guys, passing away and retiring and passing away and stuff. And I don't know, it just makes you feel really old in a lot of ways. But I'll never forget the challenge I had of this, of Mike here, and to finally break him down. And I don't know if we would say we were friends, not like we'd go hang out and stuff, but
you softened him.
Softened the big old teddy bear is what I did. And he was not easy. I mean, you look at him, he looks like a guy that'd be a tough nut to crack, doesn't he? Yeah. Probably those years in the Army and all that. He was sent down to the fort and all this kind of stuff. So unfortunately, he did pass away. It said hospice or something. So I'm sure he had cancer or something. Him and I could have related on that, maybe. Who knows? You were talking about signing me on the hospice up the road. Going to the hospice up the road. I just don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I just don't know, but we'll see. Maybe this weekend. We'll see what happens. But there it is. There it is. That's a little Tales from Retail. A little bit of a somber one. It kind of made me feel old when you see people. I was trying to see
when he passed, but it doesn't really say in that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been too long ago. So he was born in 1949 to Elmer and Glenda. Those are some old names, that's for sure. So there it is, Angie. That's Tales from Retail. Now it's time for a few final thoughts. All right, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts, and we got a few questions this week here to dive into. And in a plot twist, they're mostly centered at you. Oh. So you better be ready to answer these things. No holds barred, Angie. No holds barred. But the first one isn't necessarily a question, but a comment. But I wanted to shout out a real one right here. Brad Elder 8890. It's great to see someone speaking out about the overall wrong of pickles on their McRib and also the fraud of time capsules. Great show as always. Keep up the great work. Well, there's a real one. He understands the frauds of time capsules. You're there for the fun, but you don't get the payoff. You don't get the payoff. Everybody wants that money shot at the end, especially you. Where do you like that?
Not in the eye.
No, but anywhere else, fair game. That's for sure.
Instant yeast.
Instant. Is it? It's a mess. It's a mess. But yeah, the time capsule, fraudulent nature, and then the McRib, the pickles. I like a pickle. I don't like a pickle as much as Angie. Angie's a big fan of pickles.
I love pickles.
Loves pickles, let me tell you.
Banana peppers?
I can dabble in a pickle or two. I'm not opposed to a pickle.
Crunch.
I don't like the mixing of barbecue sauce and pickles. For some reason, those combinations don't go well together.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't eat a McRib. So.
But the McRib, we talked about that. We talked about the time capsules. But now, Angie, here's a question for you. It comes from Josh Clinton, 31682. Okay, then for Angie, question of the week. Okay. Did you really not play with any toys as a kid? Or do you remember any toy being your favorite as a child? If you didn't play with toys, what is your fondest memory as a child?
Oh, God.
You don't remember any toys being played with? No. Not even Barbie ever?
Our favorite thing was to go up in our attic. We had like a finished attic in our Victorian house we grew up in.
Yep.
And we had like a little schoolhouse set up in one room, and we would play up there with like antique toys a lot that my dad had in there. Like one of those creepy monkeys that like we love thing. They're like
Monkey Shines, the movie.
But my sister would just like boss me around and be like, "You're my student today," and that's all we would play that.
Well, and Elle and Emma used to do that too. It's kind of let's play school. So you played role playing stuff. So not a lot different than what you like to do today.
And I was outside.
Oh yeah,
I was a little tomboy.
Yeah, you like to go outside and role play out there too.
Yeah,
I've seen.
Roll in the dirt.
Is that what we call it? But Angie, so you didn't really play with many toys. It was more of like using your imagination, the power of imagination.
We had Barbies. Like my dad would buy a lot of like.
You had the Barbie Dream House, I
Yeah.
think. What happened to that? We throw that away?
Yeah, we
Break
put
or
it on the
something?
curb. It cracked.
Hard times for Barbie. But you had that. And did you ever play with like stuffed animals or anything?
No.
Did you ever listen?
Like I don't ever remember having anything in my bed.
Did
that
you
was,
ever
like, a
buy
toy or
like
anything.
CDs or tapes of music?
Yeah, but not till probably like 8th grade.
Do you remember anything you bought early on?
My first CD I ever bought was the Dazed and Confused soundtrack.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Reba
And
McEntire Fancy.
Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Oh, that sounds like your stuff. Cut it out. That's what they say. You remember any other fond memories? Not really playing. She just blocked it all out. She doesn't even remember our wedding day or any of that stuff either. She just got terrible memory. And we see that at the end of every single one of these episodes where we put Angie on the spot of what we talked about, and we're going to see that again, I guarantee, this week right here. But it sounds like Angie was into role playing, and some things never change. Some things never change. It's like a school teacher one night, a nun. That's a crazy one, when she pretends to be a nun. It's a wild one. But Angie, we got one final question directed at you. Hopefully you can answer this one.
You need to prep me for these things.
No, we're going straight. We should go straight raw. You know how it is. Eric Jakks 7659 questions for the miss for Angie. Favorite place for makeup and nail polish?
Oh my God, what?
What's your favorite place for makeup and nail polish? So I'm guessing probably what you like to buy. What's your favorite makeup and nail polish to buy, or your favorite place to go get it done? I don't know. I think you like. Where do you get your petties and manis? Is it the same place all the time? Do you use a
I just
coupon?
go to, that one by our house.
There's
but
one.
I only go like once or twice a year.
It's once or twice too many, if you ask me.
But I like an Ulta because it's got high end and drugstore in one place.
And you like to mix and match your makeup. So like, would you get, so Ulta is your place? Anywhere else you get Sephora? Are you kidding me? You get Sephora all the time.
But Sephora is like all high end products.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
So you get, so what is your main one?
Ulta.
And then Sephora?
And you can get Ulta at Target now, which I actually think they're getting rid of.
Oh, hard times.
So you know I'd be buying on there since you pay the bill.
Wonder those bills have been so expensive. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when your monthly Target bill is more than your mortgage. Just drink that in. Drink that in sometimes. And Angie's like, well, I don't have to pay that, so I don't know. I saw a thing the other day where it said if you and your husband, wife keep your finances separate, you have a longer chance of like living together, like being married or something. Like, and they said that's a very common practice, which we've always practiced that. It's always been separate, and we've always slept in separate bedrooms too. Just like the old days. Just like the old days.
For some reason, I like that I live paycheck to paycheck because I don't have enough money in my account to ever really like.
Yeah, so I pay all.
I never
like,
get too comfortable.
Angie pays that Netflix bill. She pays that $15 and like maybe the Paramount, or there's one of those. She pays like two
the
streaming.
internet.
Yeah, she pays the internet. Oh my gosh, what are you doing with all these big bills?
But I do a lot of gas and out to eats.
Yeah, so
I have all the fun money.
Yeah, you do. And I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, another credit card bill, another credit card bill. Oh my gosh, the mortgage. Oh my gosh, insurance. Oh my gosh, cell phone bills. Oh my gosh, heat bill. Oh my gosh, water bill.
How do you do it?
I don't know. That's what I always say. I always say, how much money do you think I make? How much money do you think I make? I'm paying all these bills. But it must be a nice thing because then like I pay the Amazon credit card bill every month, and we use that because you save 5%. Same thing with Target. So Angie's like, well, I could spend my money, but I'll put it on the Amazon because Kyle will pay that. And we're saving 5%. So I got her figured out. Trust me, I figured that out decades ago, but it is what it is. You know, when I die, it's all going to be yours anyways. It's coming soon. She's trying to get me to hospice. You guys heard that whole story. But is there a certain makeup or nail polish that like is your go-to? Like, here's my go-to. I have to have this rouge. I have to have this whatever.
No, I have a million brands up there.
I hate it.
I'm not loyal to any.
You're not loyal to anybody, let me tell you. No. I hate it because I'm like, I don't, and I say the same thing about your shampoo and conditioner, your lotions, your candles, all this stuff. Like, buy all you want, but how about we just use that one all up and then you buy a new one instead of having, here's 10 million different nail polishes. Oh, I got to throw all these out because they went old. Let's use them all up. And same thing with clothing. It's crazy. Every Christmas time, hey, I'm giving all these clothes to my sisters. I'm giving them all. It's like, I don't even never saw you even wear this stuff. It's like
styles change, Kyle.
Oh, but it's like, why are we just? I don't know. But buy your makeup, use it up. Like me, I get shampoo and conditioner, and when it's gone, I buy a new one. I don't need to buy 10 shampoo and conditioners and use this once. Ooh, I don't like that. And I've been the guinea pig over the years too. Like, I don't like this. Kyle's going to use this one. I don't really care. I don't overthink it. So
we got our shampoo locked down though. We found one we both like.
No, I don't care.
Dove.
So you like it apparently. So we get it at Costco, I think. Dove. Shout out to Dove, real ones. When are they going to sponsor this podcast? So there it is, Angie. That is the questions of the week. And if you want to be the question of the week, stick it in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube, or email the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. And Angie will take good care of that. And if you want to sponsor an episode, you want to sponsor this, hey, all right. If you want to sponsor the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, you just reach out. We can.
So hard to hold it in.
It is hard to hold it in. I mean, that's how it gets in your eye if you're not careful. But Angie, and if you want to sponsor it, you guys know what to do and reach out, all that kind of fun stuff. Check out the Patreon for early access to this podcast each and every week. You don't want to miss out on this, all kinds of craziness as we see. And even a sick Angie showing up here sick. So you look good for being sick. There's a filter. That's for sure. But there it is, Angie. That is, of course, another episode of the Kyle Peterson Show. Episode 44. Next week, episode 45. Are you ready for that?
Sure.
But Angie, before we go anywhere, what did we learn today?
Oh, God.
What did we learn today?
Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
Nicknames.
Yep. And that's it. We learned about your favorite makeup. Learned about your toy collection. You want to look at the notes? Angie's a lost cause. Her brain. She's like, what is that movie with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler that I've never seen? It's like she forgets all the time. That's like you. Yeah. Every single day, she just forgets. It's like, let's just try it again. You've never done this before. Trust me. So there it is. Angie, tell everybody goodbye in your own special way. Putting her on the spot.
Bye.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Tonight I'll show you just how good